Hi everyone! First YouTube live video, so bear with me. Tonight I am making gnocchi soup and I'm going to do some shortcut pumpkin cupcakes with cream cheese frosting. Turn the fan to my stove. So I think I'm going to start with the frosting first. Over here I have 2 packages of cream cheese, 1 stick of butter. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and this is 2 cups of powdered sugar sifted. I love my old school sifter. It looks beat up, but it does the job. So go ahead and get that all in my mixer here. I always start by creaming the butter and the cream cheese together. I'm going to give that a while and let that really get smooth. So, while that's getting nice and smooth, I'm going to go ahead and start my cupcakes. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Yes, I own 2 KitchenAids. I'm super thankful because my sister bought me the big one last year for Christmas, and my husband got me this one just a few years ago when we bought our first home. So for the pumpkin cupcakes, they're really simple. Anybody can do this. I'm using a box of spice cake mix, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of oil, and 1 can of pumpkin. Set the phone up here. These mixers are really loud. Well, not as loud as some, but still a lot of background noise going on. I should have used scissors for the bag. These little tiny spatulas are so great for getting inside of cans. A mess here. It's really tough trying to do this on camera so that you can see everything. You can see it's mixing up nice. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides of that down so that it all incorporates well. And on the other side of the kitchen, my butter and my cream cheese are starting to really blend together. I don't want any lumps in there. You don't want to eat a chunk of butter or a chunk of cream cheese when you bite into frosting. So I'm going to go ahead and add my vanilla. 1 teaspoon. Shut this down for a minute and scrape inside of the bowl. to this. I'm going to scrape the sides of the bowl, and then I'm going to get this all put into these cupcakes. This recipe will make 18 regular size cupcakes. I don't know exactly how many mini it will make, but I'm going to see if I can get 12 mini out of the additional. And I just realized my sister borrowed my little scoop, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with these little guys. You guys see what I'm doing yet? Perfect scoop. Seeing if I might have anything that could sub for a little scoop, but I think I'm just going to have to use a measuring spoon. I'm going to go about a tablespoon into each of these. I think a tablespoon is too big. Maybe I'll try a teaspoon, see how it works out. I'm going to add some more to this first one. It seems like a heaping teaspoon is really about what I want. Can't believe I forgot my scoop. batter is super, super thick. So honestly, how your batter looks in the pan is just about how these cupcakes will bake and look. So I'm going to try to smooth out the top just a little bit so they don't look so crazy. And I have plenty of batter. I could probably get another 6 mini cupcakes out of this, but I don't really feel like doing all that. I worked 8 hours today and gotta work tomorrow too, so this is what's going down. 24 minis and 12 regular size. Over here, it's gotten super creamy, so I'm gonna go turn it, well, I turned it down. I'm gonna start adding my powdered sugar in there. Just little by little and let it incorporate. To set the phone down so I can get this in there. All right, frosting's getting nice and creamy. Scrape the sides of the bowl. Those cupcakes in the oven. Oven's preheated to 350. The little ones only take about 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to put them on for 8 and see how they look. The large ones will take about 15 to 20 minutes depending. Now this frosting is looking fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off, scrape the bowl, and stick it in the fridge until the cupcakes are ready. I'm going to save this to lick later. This cream cheese frosting is super, super creamy. It's really cheesy tasting. It's tangy. It's more like a cheesecake than a frosting, I guess. And actually, looks like I still have a couple little lumps in there. So I'm going to put this back on and let it go for a bit, really scrape the bottom of the pan well. Give it a few more minutes. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and start my soup. For the soup, I have flour, butter. I'm going to be making a roux. Heavy whipping cream, of course. Chicken broth, some shredded carrots, diced onion, gnocchi. I bought store-made because my friend Mario is going to teach me how to make homemade. This is some rotisserie chicken that I made last night. I have about a couple cups of spinach, some fresh thyme, and of course garlic. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna saute the onions and the garlic in the butter, and then I'm gonna make a roux to thicken up my soup. So I'm using about 4 tablespoons of butter, getting that melted down. Put my onions in there, season them with some kosher salt and some pepper. I like a lot of pepper, and I'll probably add more later. Gonna let the butter melt down and the onions cook until they're kind of translucent looking. In the meantime, I'm gonna check on this frosting again real quick. That was looking a lot better, so I'm just going to wrap it in some plastic wrap and throw it in the fridge until the cupcakes are cooked. Sounds like my butter is melting. Onions are cooking. They smell so good. I'll show you what's going on in there. They're starting to get a little clear looking. Go ahead and add my garlic. That's about 2 tablespoons chopped up, but you can always add more. No such thing as too much garlic. And in goes my flour. So this, I am making a basic roux. I'm going to cook the butter and flour together for a little bit. Let it make kind of like a paste. Get the raw flour taste out of there. Just going to let that cook for a minute or so. This soup is really, really quick to make. If you made your own gnocchi, it'd probably take a bit longer, but since I'm using store-bought, this is going to be like maybe 10 minutes tops. We'll go ahead and add my chicken broth, and I have a whisk over here. I'm going to whisk this all together so it's creamy. I don't want those big chunks of flour in there. You can add more chicken broth if you like a thinner soup. I like it nice and thick. So you can see all the flour and butter is incorporated. Those chunks are my onions and my garlic. You can also chop your onion up a lot smaller. I'm a weirdo. I like big onions in my soup. I like to bite down into them. So I'm just going to bring this to a boil for a second. It should only take a second. It looks like I have about 2 minutes until I check my cupcakes. Which, I don't know if we can see in there, but you can see they're rising up really, really nicely. That thick batter just poofs up. Starting to simmer around the edges. Means it's getting nice and thick. I have 1 quart of heavy whipping cream, which is a lot, but it's so good. Ooh, I'm splashing it everywhere. Hard to do this with a phone in your hand. if enough people are interested in these videos, I think I'll get a tripod and, you know, kind of do this maybe a little bit more professionally. All right. That's the base of your soup. Super, super easy. I'm going to go ahead and add in my gnocchi, which is probably going to splash because I'm doing it with one hand. It'll be fun to clean my stove after this. Get the splatters up there and on my wall. Gnocchi only takes about 2 minutes to cook, so this isn't going to take long at all. I'm going to go ahead and add in my chicken from last night. Probably could have chopped that up a little bit more, but I don't mind a nice chunk in my soup. Oh, there's the cupcakes. So, I'm just going to check on the little guys for now. I'm going to set the timer for another 8 minutes for the large ones. I'm old school, I just use a toothpick. And there's still a little bit on there, so I'm going to give them another minute and I'll try them again. In the meantime, I'm going to wipe this cream off of my wall. In my pan. I'm going to add some fresh thyme. I feel like thyme goes great with any kind of chicken soup or chicken pot pie. Anything with cream and butter, thyme goes really, really well in. Just cleaned off the spray. It smells so good. I'm gonna wait till close to the end to add my spinach and my carrots because I don't want to overcook them. If you prefer your veggies more cooked in the soup, throw them in there, cook them down. Still looks like the cupcakes need a couple minutes, so probably closer to 10 instead of 8. And my carrots. That's about a cup of shredded carrots. And I'm using roughly chopped, I kind of ripped it up myself with my hands, 2 cups of spinach, which will cook down and look like absolutely nothing, because that's how spinach works. I'll show you this pan. Now again, it looks like a lot of spinach. In 2 minutes, it's going to cook down to nothing. You just want to heat this all the way through, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, make sure that cream is nice as hot, and my soup is done. Now to check these cupcakes again, just my little guys. Alright, that's coming out clean. I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. Thank you, Nicole. I remember I used to make it for you when I worked at H&R Block. I'm just getting out my cooling rack. I have a monster-sized cooling rack. Basically covers half my counter. These little cupcakes are so cute. Should probably. It's so hard to do this with one hand. And the big cupcakes I'm going to leave on for another 4 or 5 minutes or so. I can't wait to eat this. I should have got some bread, but I'm trying to be good. You can see how the spinach has, you know, really cooked down. Of course, it floats up to the top of the soup. This is a really tall stock pot, so you can imagine. But, yeah, that's the soup. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up these cupcakes. Once they cool, I can come back, and if you guys want to watch me frost them, I'll post that video. So thanks for tuning in to my first YouTube Live. It's a little bit nerve-wracking doing it on a Monday after work, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to get started, and I'll see you next time.